So, what happens to new inmates inside bars? Find out in this video. You will also learn what happens to baby killers, rappers, and female criminals who are placed in male jails. Welcome to True Crime. Let's get started. What happens to the new inmates? As the huge metal doors of the reception prison slam shut behind them, new detainees are forced into a world unlike anything they have ever experienced. This is where their journey through the jail system officially begins. The reception process, while necessary, is jarring for these people who are now at the hands of the system. When new inmates arrive, the first thing they face is a strip search, which may be unpleasant and make them feel vulnerable and humiliated. They must remove all of their clothing in an aircraft room with no privacy. This reminds them that they have lost their personal independence. Following the strip search, their belongings are transferred to the receptionists, who thoroughly inspect everything to determine what they can keep in the prison. Personal mementos, cherished photographs, and sentimental items are frequently considered contraband. Ex-inmates reported feeling a sense of loss and separation from their prior lives. Next, the inmates are given a list of clothing allowances. They must carefully consider the outfits they can wear because their options are limited. It serves as a strong reminder that their individuality is no longer recognized behind the prison walls as they struggle to cope with this new reality. The detainees immediately realize that cash is not permitted in prison. Instead, their funds are held in a private cash account maintained by the prison. Each convict is granted a prison number, which further strips them of their identity. This number becomes their new identity in the prison system, serving as a continual reminder of their prisoner status. Their photo and fingerprints are taken for jail records, along with their prison number. This paperwork provides a lasting record of their experience in the system. While the physical components of the reception process can be daunting, the emotional impact should not be disregarded. New convicts can see a doctor or nurse to discuss any medical issues or concerns. This is an extremely crucial aspect of caring for prisoners because some of them may already have health issues or become ill while in jail. In addition to medical treatment, emotional support is given. If new convicts feel uneasy or worried, they can speak with the prison chaplain or staff. Listeners who are specifically trained inmates can also provide confidential support. These listeners have gone through comparable circumstances and can provide compassion and understanding to their fellow inmates. Following the reception processes, inmates could be offered a bath or shower. This tiny act of cleanliness provides a brief respite from the stress and confusion of their new surroundings. Following that, they are transferred to their cell for their very first night. Some prisons feature a separate block for incoming inmates, while others house them in normal prison blocks. Regardless of the location, the first night in a cell is a frightening experience. Now, new inmates are plunged into a world fraught with problems and uncertainties. They are given bedding and compulsory jail clothing if necessary. Smoking, which could have brought warmth and comfort in the outer world, is only permitted in cells. Each prison has its own set of rules controlling what items inmates are allowed to keep in their cells. Certain things, such as mobile phones, chargers, and SIM cards, are completely prohibited for security reasons. Whatever the obstacles they experience, new offenders might gain privileges based on their actions and sentence progression. Offenders must continually display positive behavior, follow the laws, and actively participate in their own rehabilitation. Individuals with criminal records who demonstrate dedication and willingness to contribute may be allocated to work in a variety of positions, including culinary workers, janitors, and library aides. Prison professions offer a sense of purpose and duty, but advancement opportunities are limited. Each facility has its own collection of rules and requirements for receiving these rewards. However, the basic premise stays the same. Education and vocational programs are another important resource for new offenders. Prisons seek to rehabilitate and integrate convicts into society. They provide counseling, substance abuse therapy, and education to deal with the underlying causes of their imprisonment. What happens to women in men's prisons? For many years, women in male prisons have faced severe challenges such as suicidal ideation, sexual assault, torture, malnutrition, and physical attacks. But how can this occur? The situation is a little difficult. In certain states, there are insufficient separate cells for women in imprisonment. For example, in a state with 132 jails, there may only be 6 cells for women. Due to a lack of adequate facilities, congestion occurs, and as a result, some women end up in male-only jails. In Brazil, a 15-year-old girl named Lab got into difficulty with the law. She was arrested for a minor theft on October 21, 2007. She was imprisoned with 34 other adult male convicts who had committed various offenses. Lab discovered herself in a prison with no other women, surrounded by males who had not seen a woman in a long time. This decision resulted in disastrous repercussions. On her second day there, one of the males sexually assaulted her inside the bathroom, which was only the beginning of her horrific suffering. They made her look foolish, and mistreated her. In addition to physical assault, female convicts in male jails frequently experience verbal and emotional abuse. They are subjected to cruel comments, insults, and threats every day. What happens to the baby killers in prison? First and foremost, baby killers become targets for retaliation by other convicts. In a prison setting, where even offenders have a moral code, acts against innocent children are viewed as the ultimate dishonor. As a result, these individuals are hated and frequently subjected to threats, assault, and abuse from other convicts. They are constantly on watch, fearing for their own safety. Isolation is another issue for baby killers in prison. Because of the nature of their crimes and the risk of danger from other inmates, they are frequently separated from the regular prison population. They are continuously monitored and must adhere to severe guidelines and limitations. Their behaviors are restricted, and they are continually monitored to avoid any potential injury to themselves or others. Many people deal with shame, remorse, and the understanding that their actions have a permanent impact. Let us look at a particular case. Most parents will do anything to keep their children safe. However, for 22-year-old Liam Dean, this was not the case. Liam Dean had been dating Karen Bissett for a few months before she became pregnant with Luna. However, Liam was not happy with being a father. However, Luna was born on July 9th, 2017. Then Liam began to exhibit signs of anger. He claimed that his daughter's constant crying kept him awake and disrupted the planning process. He also accused Karen of abandoning him in favor of the baby, and he quickly became verbally and physically aggressive toward her. Karen left Luna with Liam on the night of July 10th, 2017, in order to take a rest. Luna started crying as soon as Karen fell asleep. This irritated Liam so badly that he desperately attempted to calm her. He fed her a bottle, but when she refused, he became enraged and began physically assaulting her, causing her to suffer head trauma and significant brain damage. As if that wasn't enough, he brutally squeezed and shook her small body until she remained silent and unable to move. Then he put the lifeless kid in her crib, covered her with a blanket, and continued as if nothing had occurred. When Karen inquired about her the next morning, he lied, saying Luna was not breathing well and had fallen off her crib. Karen, alarmed, called for assistance, and when the paramedics arrived, they were shocked by the severity of Luna's injuries. They found her with a swollen face and bruises all over her body. They immediately took her to Leeds General Infirmary, where she died in intensive care on July 14, 2017. Liam admitted his crimes and was found guilty of murder. In October 2017, he was sentenced to life in jail imprisonment with a minimum of 10 years and transferred to HMP Leeds, a high-security prison with over 1,000 inmates. But what happens to infant killers like Liam Dean once they're sentenced to prison? Liam Dean murdered his child and was killed by a fellow prisoner. That is a harsh example of baby killers. What happens to rappers in prison? Rappers are no strangers to jail time, with many becoming embroiled in legal issues. This has sparked curiosity about what life is like behind jail for these performers. Pooh Shiesty, King Von, Casanova, and Money Sign Suede are all of whom have faced legal troubles and spent time in jail. Pooh Shiesty is now serving 5 years and 3 months in prison after pleading guilty to federal conspiracy charges. It's the appearance of him wearing a green vest instead of the standard orange or tan jumpsuits worn by inmates or those awaiting trial. The green vest serves as a visual reminder to both inmates and prison personnel that this person requires special attention. If it is believed that the rapper poses a threat to himself or others, they may be placed in the green vest as a preventative measure. This not only protects the rapper, but also the safety of the people around them. How many rappers die in prison, demonstrating that it is a dangerous place for rappers. It is especially tough for those with a history of gang-related behavior. That brings us to the end of this video. Our thoughts and prayers go out to those involved. We hope you enjoyed our true crime overview of what happens to new inmates in prison. Be sure to be a true crime subscriber and hit the bell icon to never miss another true crime video. Leave a comment and a like to show your support. Until next time, stay safe, and if you have a true crime story you would love to see, please be sure to leave in the comments below. We look forward to seeing you in our next video.